Prince Harry's most recent visit to the United Kingdom was meant to be a forceful statement, an effort to reassert his rights, challenge the system, and demand the protections he once took for granted as a working royal. But instead, it became a spectacle, part courtroom drama, part viral comedy, and entirely emblematic of the precarious position he now occupies. A prince without a kingdom, a public figure without the institution that once shielded him. At the heart of his visit was a high-profile legal challenge against the UK government's decision to strip him of taxpayer-funded police protection. Harry insisted that without this security, Meghan and their children faced unacceptable risks whenever they stepped foot on British soil. But as the courtroom battle unfolded, another story emerged, one that the public found impossible to ignore and one that ultimately led to a judicial reprimand and massive financial penalties. The incident that ignited the media frenzy wasn't inside the courtroom. It was caught outside, on a doorbell camera. Lost in a quiet West London neighborhood, Harry had been attempting to locate a friend's residence. He knocked on several doors, visibly disoriented, and was captured on multiple Ring cameras looking confused, talking on his phone, and glancing nervously up and down the street. One video clip showed him politely apologizing to a family who had no idea the Duke of Sussex would be showing up on their doorstep. The footage quickly went viral. The once polished image of a royal was now reduced to memes, social media jokes, and late-night talk show punchlines. But what began as a humorous detour soon spiraled into a more serious problem. Some residents, concerned about privacy violations and feeling intruded upon by Harry's unexpected visits, filed formal complaints. The incident, they claimed, constituted trespassing. And given the high-profile nature of the individual involved, these complaints did not simply vanish into bureaucratic obscurity. Legal action was pursued. A judge, already presiding over Harry's security case, agreed to review the trespassing claims in tandem and ruled decisively. The court's ruling was damning. Sir Geoffrey Vose, presiding over both matters, determined that Prince Harry's actions, though not malicious, were nonetheless careless, avoidable, and unlawful. He cited the fact that the prince had been in a residential area, knocking on doors uninvited, without verifying the correct address beforehand. The court acknowledged Harry's intent may have been harmless, but emphasized that ignorance of the law was not a defense. For a public figure of his stature to wander a private neighborhood without prior communication or coordination constituted, in the court's view, a breach of reasonable conduct. In addition to losing his case for state-funded protection, Harry was sanctioned heavily for the trespassing matter. The court imposed financial penalties for legal costs and reputational damages brought by the affected residents, totaling upwards of £1.2 million. The judge noted that Harry's legal pursuit of taxpayer-funded security, combined with these public missteps, reflected a troubling disconnect from the realities of private citizenship. What had started as a bold bid for justice ended in an expensive humiliation. And beyond the legal ramifications, the ruling reopened deep wounds between Prince Harry and his homeland. For many in the British public, the image of a lost prince fumbling through their neighborhoods while simultaneously demanding special treatment only reinforced their belief that Harry wanted the privileges of royalty without the responsibility. Newspaper editorials were merciless. A prince in peril. But by his own hand, one headline declared. Another tabloid branded him his royal confusion. Royal insiders didn't hold back either. Reports from palace sources suggested that King Charles was privately deeply embarrassed by the incident and frustrated with his son's continued litigious approach to his post-royal life. The king, who had reportedly urged Harry to seek informal reconciliation rather than legal confrontation, is said to view the episode as a needless and damaging spectacle. Even senior members of the royal household, who have remained largely silent on Sussex matters, were allegedly appalled by the optics. The ruling also illuminated an uncomfortable truth. Prince Harry is increasingly out of step with both the royal institution and the country he once called home. His insistence that his family requires the same level of security as working royals, despite having stepped back from royal duties and relocated to California, was found legally and logically untenable. The court emphasized that protection decisions were based on risk assessments, not titles or past affiliations. by choosing to become a private citizen. The court noted Harry had also chosen the limitations that came with that status. The financial consequences of the sanctions are substantial, with over £1 million in costs to be covered. Questions are mounting about how the Sussexes will absorb the blow. Their various media ventures have reportedly experienced mixed success. Spotify famously ended its deal early, and Netflix is said to be reassessing its long-term relationship with the couple. Legal experts suggest the mounting legal bills from Harry's ongoing battles in both the UK and US may soon outweigh the gains from book deals and media contracts. But perhaps the most severe damage is to Harry's reputation. Once celebrated as the charming and relatable royal, the military veteran who connected with the public on a human level, Harry now finds himself at odds with the very people who once cheered his every move. The viral videos of his misadventures in London transformed him from a figure of public empathy into a subject of ridicule, and the legal defeats only compounded the humiliation. The episode also strained already tenuous hopes of reconciliation within the royal family. Some sources close to Prince William have indicated that the brothers are further apart than ever, especially given the publicity surrounding the court cases. The Queen's passing had briefly offered a window for healing, but with each new courtroom appearance and each tabloid headline, that window appears to be closing. What should have been a private visit to reconnect with friends and argue for security became a media circus and a legal defeat. Harry's London misstep, literally, now stands as a symbol of a broader issue, the challenge of navigating royal legacy in a post-royal life. It's a high-wire act, and Prince Harry, it seems, has lost his balance. The path forward is uncertain, with legal avenues narrowing, public sentiment souring, and financial pressures mounting. The Duke of Sussex faces difficult questions about the life he's chosen and the costs it entails. For now, the British courts have spoken, and so have the doorbells of West London. A prince once heralded for breaking free now finds himself ensnared in a reality where freedom, fame, and fortune come with consequences. Consequences that no title, no memory of grandeur, and no royal lineage can erase.